Hello from Trend Signal for a review of the data and events the week beginning the 16th of October. We've already had one key event this week, which was on Sunday evening, a speech delivered by Janet Yellen at the Group of 30 Banking Conference in Washington, where the chairperson of the Federal Reserve painted an optimistic picture of the US economy and effectively signaling that the Fed would likely raise rates in December. A quick look at the CME Group's forward rates, which tells us the probability of a rate rise. It's remaining above 80% for a rate rise in December of 25 basis points. So that looks like it's pretty much nailed on for now. Janet Yellen, she noted the persistently low inflation rate, but I think she was quite quick to reiterate the view that inflation will start to pick up in the new year. And describing inflation or the inflationary picture as a bit of an enigma, there was reference to the manufacturing being at a 13-year high with near full employment. So I think that underlines the desire or the mood in the Fed to raise rates in December. Markets last week, indices continued to inflate further, as it were. The FTSE marginally higher, the Dow up at 98, S&P 4, DAX 36, but the Nikkei tacked on 464 points, which is 2.25%. So all very positive. The dollar rebounded last week with the euro up 133 points against the dollar. Sterling had a significant rebound following a sharp sell-off after David Davis reported the progress or lack of progress in the Brexit talks with Michel Barnier. But the comments from Barnier about going to the 27 members of the EU to free up his hands in terms of the negotiation resulted in a sharp rebound in sterling after that sell-off. So sterling ending up over 2 cents on the week. Precious metals, base metals, commodities all benefiting, certainly the dollar-based ones benefiting from a fall in the US dollar towards the end of last week. Okay, let's have a look at the data and events this week. Not too busy a calendar. UK inflation, loads of central bankers speaking, more Q2 earnings, plus attention focusing on China midweek with key data and also the meeting of the Chinese Communist Party, effectively anointing Xi Jinping for another 5 years of leadership. Anyway, okay, let's just deal with those central bankers. Janet Yellen isn't the only one that's speaking this week. It seems to be the way of it these days. The central bankers dominate the weekly calendar for us. Some people refer to them as the master puppeteers controlling our markets. So I guess we've got to make sure that we listen to them. According to the Financial Times, we've got the Minneapolis Fed president speaking, the outgoing Fed Governor Stanley Fischer, the New York president Bill Dudley, and also the Fed president Robert Kaplan. They're all delivering speeches this week. So with Janet Yellen speaking at the end of the week, although it says 12:30 night, but it's an evening event in the Herbert Stein Memorial Lecture, I think it's called. It certainly seems that we're going to have a significant insight into the thinking of the Fed by the end of the week. Certainly, what their current thinking is anyway. Other bits of data this week and events. Theresa May, just looking at the Financial Times, there's headline article, May urging Merkel to end the standoff over Brexit. That was a phone call to the German leader on Sunday evening. On Monday, Theresa May is heading off to Brussels to meet up with, and I quote, one of the Brexit papers, the ghastly Jean-Claude Juncker, which isn't probably that helpful, and Michel Barnier, the chief Brexit negotiator for the EU, or chief messenger for Merkel and Macron, as some people have called him. But not particularly market moving really, unless there is some sort of subsequent announcement, and that may come on Tuesday from Barnier, but we wait to see how that goes. Other data, noteworthy data releases, we've got the UK inflation data. Another tick up in inflation following September's strong number, which rebounded from 2.6 to 2.9%. Likely to be market moving. Sterling gilts, equities all sensitive to this data, but markets largely priced in an increase in rates for the 2nd of November when the MPC meet in the UK. Markets are always sensitive to comments from the bank and obviously policy changes. So Mark Carney, who is delivering or testifying before the Treasury Select Committee, any comments there will also have an effect on the markets. Mario Draghi talking Wednesday morning, and that is, I believe, at the beginning of the ECB conference in Frankfurt. All these central bankers do have a significant effect on the market, so it's important we keep following them. Crude oil inventories in the States, we've had 3 weeks of drawdowns. Another further drawdown is slated for this week, although that's not highlighted here just yet. We have Chinese GDP and industrial production out on Thursday morning, very early doors. So we're going to wake up in the morning and come and see what that data was and the effects on the markets. As some people describe it, it's a state-orchestrated release of data. Nevertheless, they're forecasting a slight downtick in the GDP data. We then have retail sales on Thursday morning, another key number in the United Kingdom, minus 0.1%. We have had revisions, a number of revisions recently. That might be interesting to see whether there is any revision upwards in those numbers. And then, as I said, we've already discussed the Janet Yellen speaking at the end of the week. That's it. Thank you very much for listening. That's the data and events the week beginning the 16th of October. Thanks very much. Bye now.
If you would like more information about trading the right way, Trend Signal is giving you the opportunity to see and hear about its services live at a free online seminar. Take a look at the Trend Signal website for the latest events and to book your free place.